welcome back. Appreciate y'all for coming back. If anything, this time we're basically going to be getting back into Chanel and throwing on the replacement motor mounts that we talked about. If you've been watching my Instagram stories, you may or may not be. I'd just be posting random stuff. But there is the AWR lowered, like the 0.5 inch lowering engine mount, motor mount, whatever, that I'm basically going to put in Chanel. I was going to put it in Brutus, but Brutus is already low enough, so kind of defeats the purpose because your oil pan is going to be kind of the lowest point. Chanel's not really that low, so makes sense to kind of transfer it over. I had stock mounts before, which they do the job, you know, no big deal, but yeah, if I'm going to take this to the track, I'd rather have something that's going to be able to just withstand and not really tear apart, especially because one of these is used. So the other one's brand new as far as the original motor mounts go. So instead of risking it and this car having 250,000 miles or whatever it said it had on there, we'll just replace it. And let me show you those real quick. And then these are the AWR, I think these are AWR, lowering mounts. And these will essentially lower the engine down 0.5 inch or half an inch, either way, just to lower the center of gravity for the engine to essentially make it easier to turn, drive, just get a better feel for everything. So this has, just so you guys are aware, and if you haven't been catching up or following with everything, this has a manual steering rack that I had in that car, but that car has an NB subframe, so now it has NB depowered steering rack, which I love, and then have the manual rack moved over to this one. This had power steering, but we got rid of it because, you know, who needs power steering when you're strong? So, but yeah, the game plan is to basically put these on. You can currently see, let me get the light. So this is how it currently is. Everything's just resting with the jack, keeping it in bay or in place essentially right now. So I'm basically just taking off the motor mounts as we speak. So that way I'm going to take off one side, which I've done this side already. Once that's off and completely out, then I'll put that one in and then we'll basically move to the other side. The only thing I'm doing is just putting wood on a jack to keep the motor lifted and in place. You could do the engine stand, holder, hoist, whatever. And I have one in the backyard, but you know, this just is a lot easier for me. So that's what I did for my Mazda Speed a long time ago. So I figured it would do the same thing for a smaller and lighter motor. So, but yeah, let's get into it, shall we? All right, so all I ended up doing to get this side of it out is just lifting up the motor, but taking off the motor mount for the other side. Not the motor mount, just the bolt, or not the bolt, just the nut on the end of the motor mount itself. This part right here, just took that off so that way it was basically just sitting in there on the other side. Lifted it up high enough to where, you know, it's not super high off the ground, but it's able to support itself. Maybe like half an inch higher right now. And then this just fell straight out. So straightforward. So now we just pulled it right through here. We're just gonna push the new one back in through that way and then should be good to go. So let's throw these on there real quick and then move on to the other side. All right, so we have this side on. Probably can't see much of anything, hang on. All right, there we go. Ignore the starter mount, I don't ever have them on, but for this, you can see now we're on there. So now that we're connected on this side and we have the bottom bolt down there hooked up, this side's not going anywhere. So now we can move to the other side real quick, do the same thing, keeping that same height. Should be able to drop out the other mount, hopefully, and then can swap it over. So if you need stock mounts, let me know. All right, we have this side, which is pretty much already done. I took one out already and then loosened up the other two, which you probably just can't even tell right now, but yeah, so we're close to get this side out. This should be a lot quicker. Next one out, on to the final piece. In here, it'll be this one. This one, that way you can pivot everything around and move it around as you need. I would go this one, that one, then this one. This is probably the easiest one to get to for all of them. So that way you can get it done easy peasy, probably like 30 minutes or so, maybe an hour. If your car's not in the air or whatever, but yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Not too bad, not too bad. But just comparing motor positioning, just the top of the motor as an example, putting my hand here, you see how much room we have, about half an inch, give or take up top. Let's go to this car, which is other AWR motor mounts, just normal. And you know, we're at the very tip top. So in theory, well, not in theory, it is definitely lower in the grand scheme of things. So let's go look at the motor mount, or the bottom of the oil pan. And looking at the bottom of the oil pan, it's really not that much lower in the grand scheme of things. Let me take this out all the way. Yeah, it's really not that much lower overall. I mean, does it hang a little bit lower? Yes. But is it hanging significant? No. So that's a blessing. it's not bad. It's still pretty much protected in the grand scheme of things. So not a bad call. Now this install would have went a lot different in comparison on that car because that car has a turbo. So just the turbo alone is a pain, and all the other extra stuff underneath is a pain to get through, get to. The other side is pretty much the same. So it wouldn't be the end of the world over there, but definitely the turbo side makes that a pain. Big pain point. But now that it's done, we can put it on the ground and then we can go drive it around again and see just if it actually feels any different. I'm betting it's gonna vibrate a lot more because it's not, you know, just rubber bushings anymore, but it's part of it. So let's throw the wheels back on, get it on the ground and test drive it. And real quick while we're here in the moment, I'm replacing the soft top for Chanel just because the beige is cool, but you know, black is better, right? You know, black is better. So just gonna throw the black one on. Everything is here. This is a used one. Just has the plastic mirror. So if anybody's looking for a beige with a glass mirror, let me know. $200, easy peasy. But regardless, yeah. So gonna basically just throw this in just because I don't know. The black just seems like it matches better, and they're basically the same price for me. So just sell one, keep it rolling. But yeah, let's just throw this in real quick. I only really have one of these, which came from this car a long time ago. So we're just reusing that for this. So this actually has a lid, but man, this car looks pretty good without the top on, you know, Miata things. The weather's been nice, so it might be worth driving it like this, but it's probably better to have a soft top on just to have it. So let's not. And just like that, we got a soft top on. Everything's looking good, finally, officially. So now we can work on getting all the other stuff done and out of the way. Well, I think we found our vacuum leak. Pretty straightforward here. Nothing to see here. Good. Nothing seeming to want to come out of any other holes. Solid. All right, quick little update on Chanel. Just went on a quick little rip. Car's doing really well. Pulling, everything, doing what it's supposed to do. Very happy, very happy. Now we just need to replace these tires, get the alignment going, maybe even adjust the suspension a little bit, but aside from that, Chanel's looking good. And then just a quick update on Chanel. We've been doing some stuff, pretty much didn't record anything per usual, bad YouTuber life kind of guy, but yeah, we got our valve cover that you thought was probably gonna be for that car. I took that valve cover off, getting that one to match this. I ultimately didn't want to take those barb fittings off and just left them, so that way Chanel can use them and she'll have something. So in the event anybody ever gets this car, yeah, you'll have a piece of me with you besides the fact that it runs, which is cool. But yeah, I'm thinking about doing coil plugs. Not thinking about, probably going to need to do, because where the barb sits on the back of these is essentially pointing straight into our normal plug wires, so it just won't work in the way that it's set up. So I basically need to come up with another coil and plug solution. I have these, which were the Fab 9 conversions, which I probably could still use. I just have to rewire everything back here and then we would be good to go. But probably going to do my own thing and do my own coil and plug setup, which is exactly what I did for that car. So I'll just do a how-to this time so you guys can match it if you want, or do something similar, whatever. This is pretty much going to be the same process that you would follow on MiatoTurbo.net, but you know, visual form when that time comes. So maybe the time comes. But aside from that, we're bleeding the brakes. Bled the brakes last night. Swapped over all the soft lines to new hard lines, or hard lines to metal braided lines. So all the way across. So everything's looking good now. I think I'm just going to bleed it one more time just to make sure everything's nice and tight, and we should be off to the races. But yeah, man, all four corners. We got new wheels. We're going to have new tires here soon. We got new brake lines all across. So they're probably mixed match, but that's okay. So minor leaks, nothing major. So now we're just going to bleed it for the final time, and then we should be good. Almost there. box here for Chanel, and we got another one. I already partially opened that one. Pretty easy to see what that is. But this one is going to be a benefit for that. So let's just take a peek. G-Force, this is pretty much what I've always run, the G-Racing. I have these in the black car. Oh man, that's looking good. Distracted. In the black car, as well as the goal is to put it in here. The ones in the black car, let's take a peek. These things are super duper old. Yikes, 2018. Good times. To get some new stuff, especially if we're going to be going on track overall. So let's now really, geez Louise, take the soft top down, put the harness bar on, and then put the harness on as well. Lay that through the seat, and then, yeah, we should be good to pretty much basically drive. We still need to, I'm pretty sure we need to put in the battery tie downs and all that stuff in there because it's not an OEM battery. So that way we can get that set. And then we're going to swap these tires over. Then we can do an alignment, hopefully in a few weeks with Pat, our guy Pat, and then it's track time. I don't see any other reason why it can't be track time. So everything's full, everything works, it's driving, it's doing what it's supposed to do. So yeah, let's get on with it, shall we? See it in its full effect. Hard dog sticker, probably keep that on there, keep it going. And yeah, let's take the soft top down so we can actually get to where we need to on the back of everything and go from there. So, all right, so went through, took the the soft top down, went in here, checked them. I had these there before, which were a lot higher and meant for all the original seatbelt harness, and I'm pretty sure just to brace this. But now that we have a new harness bar, we have some new ones, and these are basically half the size with a ton of washers. So I'm assuming that way we can organize it and kind of get it to where it needs to be properly. So we'll try and use those. If that works, cool. If it doesn't, we'll use the other ones and put those back in, make it nice and tight. Should be good to go. So let's test it and see what we can get with the smaller ones real quick. All right, so now that we're back finally in here, I had to get a tap. I believe this is the right tap. It is a on focus 7/16-20 UNF. So we're gonna try and use that for these towers and then get it all the way through. I had to loosen the backside of this up just to get it to rotate enough for me to put it in there. But yeah, we're just gonna fix these on this side, fix it on that side, or double check that that side's good. And then maybe we'll do this one day, but for now, this is what's important. So let's get this out of the way. All right, so both sides taken care of. Both of them needed to be cleaned up. Again, this is the magic fitting itself, 7/16-20 for any of your shock tower needs. So now that we got that out of the way, we can go ahead and get our bar, put that in place, and then see if we can't bolt it down, and then put the back part of this, and then we're done, at least for the harness aspect. Then we can work on putting the actual harness itself in, and we should be good to go. So let's get in it. All right, so after messing around with a few different things, angles, all this stuff, just trying to figure out how this is supposed to mount properly. Now we got it. So pretty much needs to go in this type of a direction. It's gonna bolt to the chassis from here on the side. I just gotta find a bolt for that. It's also going to really utilize the smaller, I guess, bushing pieces, not bushing, just spacers. These are the original ones. I assume you would put there to keep the stock seatbelt and everything and the roll bar just braced. But now that we have this, we don't need that anymore. So we'll probably put those over in the black car. But otherwise, for this, we'll use what came with it, the small ones. We'll use some extra washers in here just to give us the spacing we need. The bolt should go through everything now that we clean up all the holes, and then we should be good. So let's tighten this stuff down, get it in place, and keep it rolling. And just like that, we now have a harness bar hooked up to Chanel all the way through and through. So now we just need to hook the initial seatbelt back up, and then we should be good. That side's already done, so we'll do this side real quick. And then we can put the harnesses in. Probably should have just took the seatbelt out, or at least the driver's side seatbelt out, because I'll probably only use the harness exclusively in this car, same as I do with this car. But either way, it's done now. So that's somebody else's problem at this point. But yeah, man, let's get the rest of this done. Then we can put it back on the ground, put the harnesses on, and this should be all she wrote for this portion of this. All right, and how we went about this last time is we took everything out, which we'll do the same thing, but these are the same G-Force racing that I used ages and ages ago. They just look probably a little more updated, but otherwise they have the little notch here, which you click everything into, and then you can just rotate it off, which is the exact same way that we have these set up over here. And I just like that. It just seemed like that worked pretty well. So essentially, you put this in here and put my phone down real quick. Then you got it plugged in, it's all hooked up, you know, and then you just rotate to get out of it. So I like that. It made it a lot easier rather than, I guess, the old traditional latches. So we'll just do the same thing. And then now we should be good to wrap this around the harness, same way we did with our black one as well. And we'll just go through that.
Check it going pretty boy.
Just like that, that's gonna end it for this one. I appreciate y'all as always for watching, tuning in, all the good stuff. So like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch y'all in the next one, man. Peace.